Asan Imza, innovative services for your life. Available wherever you are.
Hello, I'm Daniil Gussev at Best Solution. I met challenges with Solution to develop secure and trusted e-governance in emerging states around the world. In past 10 years, we have been driven by the mission to demonstrate the transferability of Estonian digital success by supporting digital transformation of Azerbaijan. Today, I would like to share some insights that we gained from our experience and introduce some of our solutions that we can help develop in other countries. We are living in a time of accelerated digitalization. Going digital holds promise a wide range of economical and social benefits on a national, geographical, and global scale. And we see that more and more countries are trying to deliver on that promise. The digital transformation state is a long-term commitment with no concrete end date. And it requires paradigm shift in national leadership and is successful when pursued through a strong public-private partnership. We at Best Solution have had the chance to walk this path of digitalization in Azerbaijan for the last 10 years. We have extracted lessons from our Estonian experience and carefully tailored our solution for the local market to help develop Azerbaijan into its own digital success story. Identity is a cornerstone of all interactions between people, state, and businesses. The person's ability to provide himself in a digital world is required by banking, entering key services, and make different kinds of transactions. Best Solution strongly believe that mobile ID is the future. Not only we have seen that people are going more and more mobile, but mobile ID ticks all the boxes of simplicity, accessibility, security, and scalability. With this, I would like to introduce our mobile ID solution that is called Asan Imza in Azerbaijan and can be translated as easy signature. From 2015, we have developed and helped to implement mobile ID in Azerbaijan to provide personal identification solution for accessing e-government solutions. It is provided by the state and offers authentication and digital signature functions. Asan Imza is secure, trusted, and easy to use. It doesn't require internet connection and works on all devices. Everything that is needed is feature phone or mobile phone and a secure SIM card. Importantly, Asan Imza provides the highest level of assurance. And digital certificates issued by Asan Imza meets three-factor authentication requirements of, first, something the user have, a mobile ID SIM card that is owned by the user. Second, something that user is, biometrical and face-to-face meeting when a mobile ID SIM card is issued. And the third, something the user knows. Mobile ID PIN codes can be generated by the citizen himself, and without which the certificates cannot be used. So how does mobile ID works? First, citizens should receive a mobile ID SIM card. Then he chooses a service that he would like to access. Enters his mobile ID, mobile phone number, and personal ID. Then he will receive a verification code that he have to compare and enter his mobile ID PIN code 1 for authentication. And the second, the generated certificate is sent to mobile operator, then forwarded to certification authority who proves the identity of a person, and access to the service is granted. To make all this possible, the mobile ecosystem includes, first, the registration authority that issues mobile ID. Second, mobile ID operator that connects all mobile operators, certification authority, and service providers to one ecosystem. Third, the official certification authority that provides full life cycle management of digital certificates. And the last but not least, service providers, starting from banks and government institutes that provide services to business and citizens. Since implementation in 2015, we have seen growing interest to our mobile ID solution in Azerbaijan. Without going into much details, I would like to share some insights that we have gained for today. In 5 years, we have issued more than 1.9 million certificates, and we have more than 4 million transactions per month, and numbers are growing rapidly. More than 1,000 e-services are connected to our ecosystem. As I mentioned before, mobile ID is a solution that ensures accessibility. It doesn't require internet connection. It works on all devices. And I would like to briefly introduce some of our solutions that mobile ID helped to develop in Azerbaijan. To ensure digital exclusivity, Asan MZA supported several services based on wearable solutions of call centers. These services are especially popular in rural areas where computer literacy is very low. Particularly very popular is tax declaration. Taxpayer can fill in and declare their taxes by calling a call center without any use of PC or internet. The operator of call center guides the taxpayer through the process, and taxpayer needs only to sign his declaration by using mobile ID PIN code 2 for digital signature. Our future plans to expand the list of services in call center and to integrate wearable solution to other popular services. Asan MZA played a fundamental role in development of digital trade hub of Azerbaijan. It's an e-trade and e-commerce platform that simplifies export and import procedures. Also, Asan MZA enabled to launch a mobile M-residency program that issues mobile ID to entrepreneurs around the world who would like to start and manage their business in Azerbaijan remotely. This solution and many more are possible all thanks to well-built ecosystem that we integrated in Azerbaijan. And any other, with a good strategy and a good solution, any other country can do the same. To wrap up, our key takeaways are following. First, mobile ID works in digital environment like physical identification method in the real world, like passport or ID card. It can be used for authentication, for entering key services, transactions, or sign digital documents. Second, mobile devices at almost everybody's pocket. The mobile ID is most accessible and affordable solution for a foundation of digital development. Third, the service is always easy to use for end user, regardless of platform that he chooses, internet, SMS, or call center. Mobile ID is secure and it works on proven technology, which issues the highest level of assurance. Based on the experience and solution I have briefly introduced to you, I can confidently say that we, a company who not only knows how to develop successful e-Government solution, but we have proven ourselves in practice. And with this, I would like to invite you to our breakout room, where I'm gladly happy to share some insights on our mobile ID project, answer any questions, and go into more details about how to start implementation of mobile infrastructure in your country. Thank you very much.
Well, Daniil, thank you so much for that overview and also the special focus on what you've done in Azerbaijan, how it's been working out over the last few years. So really exciting also, I think, for Estonians in general to see that progress outside of Estonia and also to see that the success is not exclusive to Estonia, that you can maybe not copy-paste solutions, but that they can certainly be implemented in other countries as well. Before we head to the questions, and there are many, that might also give you a good idea for the breakout session, I want to look at the task, at the poll that we have had prepared for you. Have you signed a document using your ID card? And it's almost a 50-50 split between yes and no. Now, I'm curious about the national composition of that, whether it's mostly Estonians answering or maybe some Germans who have paid several euros for a digital signature. So it would be very interesting to see that, and I'm sure we're going to go into more detail regarding this. But going to our Q&A, there are many good questions. The most votes were given to the following question: what were the factors that affected the successful implementation of mobile ID in Azerbaijan? So, like, what were the key things that had to be ready?
The willingness of government is the most important. Pretty difficult and successful work on government's legislation. And of course, willingness of citizens to use the service.
You have to have that openness from both sides, really, not just the political elite, but also the people who should use the services at the end. And I guess in connection with that, we also have the service design aspect. If, for example, as you said, the tax declaration that you can do via the phone, if that is something that the Azerbaijanis appreciate, and you make that accessible to them, then yes, you will see the usage rates skyrocket. How many e-services have been connected with mobile ID in Azerbaijan?
I don't know the exact numbers, but there are more than 1,000 of services.
More than 1,000 services, you've heard it here first. And I'm sure that if there are no other questions in the breakout room, he can mention every single one of them. So stay tuned for that. What services do you provide beyond mobile ID? What else does Best Solutions actually do?
So as I briefly introduced, the most popular digital trade hub. What I usually call it's eBay for companies, which allows you to find a partner in Azerbaijan to choose the product, to do everything digitally, buy things digitally, sign a contract digitally, tax declaration, customs, everything digitally. And what most important, the government gives acknowledge at these companies that all these companies are legal and their products exist. Call center, as I said, bank transactions are very popular. And three of the most popular one is tax declaration, as I mentioned before. Then legal contracts, labor contracts. I mean, for example, before 2018, when implemented this solution to register a labor contract, it took approximately 2 days. And when tax authority came to check up if all workers have the contracts, the owner could easily said that we have sent these documents by post and it will take 2-3 days to deliver and then 2-3 days to accept by government. But right now, after this solution, the registration of worker takes approximately 10-15 minutes at least.
You can't get out of it anymore.
No, and nobody can say that this worker just came. And third one is, of course, custom declaration.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Especially for non-EU countries, quite relevant.
Yes.
Yes, very, very true. How long does the development process take for mobile ID? Can you give us a rough time frame?
Let's say if the development on site already after implementing and discussing all legal issues and legislation, we launched mobile ID in Azerbaijan in 6 months. So we started in January, end of February, and in July we issued the first mobile ID certificate.
And then you did see the graphs how the usage rate went up. So
Yes.
the implementation might take a few months, which is not that long actually. But then also the more services you provide to the population, you really see the uptake in that as well. Another good question that I saw. Where was it? Yes. This is actually, I think this is a small misunderstanding, but maybe you can elaborate on this. How does the police check a mobile ID, in brackets NFC reader, question mark, and makes sure that what is shown is not a screenshot? So it's more about control codes like in Estonia, I would imagine, but maybe you
Yes.
can explain the process.
So
exactly.
to understand, the mobile ID is not like physical passport with
It's not a picture.
photo of picture and your name. It's a digital name that maybe already was said in this conference that in Estonia we have a personal ID code that everybody citizens knows. In Azerbaijan it is PIN code, basically the same, which is given by birth and till the end of your life. So police doesn't check this information. This information is checked by certification authority when you would like to access e-service, not physical service, but e-service. But yes, we have some right now solutions that will provide physical documents like ID card, passport, driving license, public transport tickets that we can, the police or controller can check physically, but it's in future. Mostly mobile ID is for digital services.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this also answers, I think, the question whether mobile ID is recognized by foreign authorities in the absence of a visa. That's not quite what it is for,
yes.
so it would be used in different circumstances. Is it possible to get mobile ID by non-residents of Azerbaijan? And how is it possible to use mobile ID by foreigners around the world?
Yes, so it's called, as I mentioned before, M-residency. It's very similar to Estonian e-residency. The difference in Estonia, we are offering ID cards. In Azerbaijan, we are offering mobile ID cards, SIM cards. So this can be, you can get this mobile ID in Azerbaijani embassies, the same as in Estonia ID cards. And after you receive, you can open your company digitally. It takes approximately 20 to 30 minutes to open a company and to open a bank account. And from that, you can start your company and do all the digital transactions, use all digital services that are connected to our infrastructure.
Last but not least, is the mobile ID legally equivalent to a handwritten signature?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the whole, well, not the whole point, but part of the point of mobile ID, that it replaces the physical need to, especially during COVID-19, to meet up in a location, to print out documents, to sign, maybe with the same pen even, and to then drive back to wherever you came from. So that's exactly what these different e-ID carriers are all about. Well, Daniil, thank you so much for being with us. It was great to have you answer a lot of different questions from you, the audience.